You know that cup of coffee you're probably holding right now, or at least thinking about? Well, it's got this incredible story behind it. A story that weaves together global economics, really smart corporate strategy, and even the weird ways your own brain works. So, let's get into it and figure out the real cost of our favorite daily ritual.
Okay, so this is the big one, right? The question we're all asking ourselves. You walk into your favorite coffee shop and that price just seems to keep climbing. I mean, $5 for a coffee? Seriously? Back in early 2024, the average latte in the US actually topped $5.46. So, yeah, how on earth did we get here? But here's the thing that's really wild. Even with that sticker shock, we keep buying it. We'll grumble about it, sure, but then we tap our card and walk out with our latte. And that's the real mystery here. It's the most interesting part of this whole thing, and that's exactly where we're going to start.
So to really get why you're still paying for that expensive coffee, we need to talk about a key idea from economics. It's called price elasticity. Now, hang on. I know that sounds super academic and boring, but trust me, it's actually a really simple and powerful way to understand our own behavior.
The easiest way to think about it is like a rubber band. Seriously, price elasticity is just a fancy way of asking how much does our desire for something stretch when the price changes? So if a price goes up just a little bit and suddenly way fewer people want it, like the rubber band snaps back, we call that product elastic.
Okay, so where does coffee fit in? Well, you've got things like airline tickets. They're super elastic. Prices jump and we immediately start looking for cheaper flights, or maybe we just don't go. But then you have stuff on the other end, things that are inelastic. Their demand is, well, it's stiff. Think about gasoline. You got to get to work, right? Or medicine. You're not going to skip it because the price went up a bit. And for so many of us, coffee is right there in that inelastic group. It's not just a drink, it's a habit, a ritual. There aren't many good substitutes. So when the price ticks up, our demand, it just doesn't really budge.
All right, so we've figured out that we're kind of locked in. We're going to keep buying coffee even when it costs more. But that brings up the next big question. Why is it getting so expensive in the first place? To answer that, we have to zoom out way beyond our neighborhood coffee shop and look at what's happening on a global scale.
The reality is it's been a total perfect storm. I mean, first, you have Brazil, which is the world's biggest coffee producer, getting slammed by crazy weather, droughts, frost, you name it. Their output got cut way down. Then you have global conflicts pushing up the price of fuel, which makes it way more expensive to ship anything, including coffee beans. And if that wasn't enough, we're still dealing with the messy logistics and supply chain headaches left over from the pandemic. It's like a triple whammy hitting that little coffee bean before it even gets to us.
And the result of all that? Just look at this number. According to the International Coffee Organization, by August 2024, the average price for green coffee exports, that's the raw beans, was a jaw-dropping 54.6% higher than it was just a year earlier. I mean, that is a massive jump. And of course, that huge increase at the very beginning of the chain, it has no choice but to trickle all the way down and end up in the price of your daily cup. But here's the thing. Those global supply problems, that's only part of the story. The price you actually pay is also a very, very deliberate business decision. So let's zoom back in from the farm to the front counter and use a giant like Starbucks as a perfect example of something called value-based pricing.
And these big coffee chains, they are absolute masters at this. They know their loyal customers won't really flinch at small price changes, so they roll out these slow, targeted increases. It's not just about covering their own rising costs. It's also about making their brand feel more premium. And check out that last step on the list. It's kind of brilliant, right? They'll bump up the price of a small, tall drink by maybe just a dime. All of a sudden, upgrading to the grande for 30 cents more seems like a no-brainer, a much better deal. They're basically nudging you, ever so gently, to buy the thing that makes them the most money.
And this is why they bother with those tiny little increases. This number is just wild. Think about it. A 1% price increase, something you would barely even notice, can lead to an 11% increase in profits on average. For a huge company, that is an astronomical amount of money. And it's all built on one simple bet, that you are not going to stop buying your coffee. Okay, so we've got the global squeeze on beans, and we've got the clever corporate playbook. But there's one last piece to this puzzle, and honestly, it might be the most important one. It's you. It's what's going on inside our own heads. Why do we just accept these prices? The answer lies in the fascinating world of behavioral economics. This all goes back to a brilliant idea from an economist named Richard Thaler. He figured out something really fundamental about us. We don't treat all our money equally. It's like we create these little invisible buckets in our minds for different kinds of spending. You've got the rent bucket, the vacation bucket, and the day-to-day stuff bucket.
And this is the secret sauce right here. That $5 latte, it never feels like it's coming out of the important savings bucket. Nope. Mentally, we just file it away in a little petty cash fund. Because it's a small, everyday thing, we don't stress over it the way we would a major purchase, even though, boy, does it add up.
And there's another psychological trick our brains play on us, especially when money is tight. It's called the lipstick effect. The theory goes that when we can't afford the big stuff, like a vacation or a new car, we start looking for small, affordable luxuries that just make us feel good. And what's a more perfect example of that than a really good cup of coffee? It's a little treat, a moment of sanity in a crazy day.
So there you have it. Coffee is an affordable luxury. Simple enough? Case closed, right? Well, maybe not. Some new research actually throws a bit of a wrench in that idea and suggests a totally different way of looking at our coffee habit. It adds a really interesting twist to the whole thing.
So you can really look at our coffee habit through 3 different lenses. Is it that affordable luxury we buy for a little pick-me-up? Or is it just a petty cash expense that flies under our budget radar? Or, and this is the new one, is it what economists call an inferior good? That's a product we actually buy less of when we start making more money, because we switch to something even fancier. And you know what? The answer could be any of them. It really just depends on who you are and what your situation is.
Okay, so we've traveled from the coffee farm to the corporate boardroom all the way into our own brains. So what's the big takeaway from all of this? Let's pull all these threads together and see if we can look at your next coffee run in a whole new light.
So the next time you're holding that warm cup, just take a second and think about what's really in there. It's so much more than just coffee, right? You're holding the effects of droughts in Brazil and skyrocketing shipping costs. You're holding the end result of a very calculated corporate strategy. And you're holding a little monument to the weird and wonderful ways your own brain works, from mental accounting to our simple need for a nice, affordable treat.
Which, of course, leaves us with one last question to think about. That simple, everyday act of buying a cup of coffee, it turns out it's not so simple after all. It's incredibly complex. So when you buy your next one, ask yourself, what is this to me? Is it just a habit? Is it an economic statement? Or is it a psychological need? The answer, whatever it is, tells a pretty amazing story, not just about the world, but about you. Thanks for diving into this with me.